62% in the UK do not believe their government acted fast enough to tackle the spread of COVID-19. And overall public disapproval of the government's handling of the pandemic rose from 26 to 30% in April 2020. In France, trust in the government's effective handling of COVID-19 fell from 55% to 39% between March 19 and April 21. In the United States, 60% said they trusted the information from President Trump on COVID-19 not at all or not very much. In contrast, in New Zealand, 85% said they approved of their government's response to COVID-19, and national pride went up from 47% to 62%. I want to show you that the most successful form of leadership going forward will be positive autocracy, as I argued in my book, Open Source Leadership. I know the word autocracy conjures up a lot of negative images, but of the 16,000 people we surveyed across 28 countries, 75% agreed that it was needed. The key here is positive autocracy. Let me show you an example. When New Zealand announced on March 14, 2020, that anyone entering the country must self-isolate for 2 weeks, they had only 6 COVID cases and no deaths. 5 days later, when they completely banned foreigners from entering, they had only 28 cases and still no deaths. At the time, these were some of the toughest measures imposed anywhere in the world. Finally, on March 25th, when they announced the full lockdown, a vast majority of Kiwis cooperated and even responded favorably to the strong and decisive action from their Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern. She is a prime example of a positive autocrat. She's not a ruthless dictator who does not listen to or collaborate with others. Under positive autocracy, shared values and purpose are held closely, are non-negotiable, and the leader is strongly autocratic about them. For everything else, the leader is benevolent, collaborative, humble, and caring. Jacinda Ardern can take decisive action without worrying about her approval ratings because she runs her government with a framework of values and purpose that most Kiwis share. She has built trust with them so that when she acts in a somewhat autocratic manner, putting her foot down in a massive crisis, for example, they let her. Unlike a lot of other countries, there were no protests against the lockdowns in New Zealand. Singapore's former Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew is another great example of a leader who had earned his people's permission to be positively autocratic. But how do you put this into practice? There are 5 keys. 1. Earn the right to use autocratic leadership by settling the positive part first. Show stakeholders that your sole purpose is to create a better future for them and that you will never give up on trying to do so. You will receive many opportunities to compromise your values. It is critical to recognize those moments and not yield. If you have selected honest, compassionate, and respectful values, it'll be easier to do so. This is just as true for those who lead countries as it is for a small business owner or the head of a nuclear family. 2. Listen, learn, and reflect continuously. While you must stay firm on your values and purpose, do not marry yourself to a methodology or a specific path to success. There may be a better way to achieve your purpose, so remain open to new ideas and challenge your thinking and be collaborative. 3. Be autocratic about values and purpose, but remain humble and respectful with people at all times. 4. Provide freedom within the framework. Allow people you lead to operate as they wish, as long as they share your purpose and goals. Lead with values, not with rules and regulations. Finally, forgive more often. Positive autocrats have enough inner strength to be able to forgive unconditionally. They do not need revenge or continued hatred to placate their ego. This is not the first time Jacinda Ardern has made a strong decision very early. On March 15, 2019, when 28-year-old gunman Brenton Tarrant conducted consecutive mass shootings at 2 mosques, killing 51 people and injuring 49, Ardern wasted no time in acting decisively.
Our gun laws will change. There have been attempts to change our laws in 2005, 2012, and after an inquiry in 2017. Now is the time for change.
Just 5 days later, on March 20, 2019, Arden announced that all military-style semi-automatics and assault rifles would be banned. The line between positive autocracy and dictatorship is thin and easy to cross. 2 words of caution. Some autocracy is essential in times of crisis. However, unless you have earned the right over years of noble and honest action, the empowered ordinary people of today will not allow you the license to autocratic action when you need it the most.